Greetings, everyone. I'm Director Arketer Labs. As is typically the case, and almost always has, might one time, probably on April 1st, not been true in this case, but I don't think it's something to worry about. I am live with Haven.
Yes.
I believe you've already met them, probably. And I am pretty much phoning this one in. Apologies in advance. That said, this should be a fun one because we're having creepy dolls, which apparently has already freaked out Kefki. Hi, Dagger! Greetings, Kefki, greetings, Brain Shatter, greetings. Carlos Fish, greetings. CP700, greetings. You're wrong! Greetings. I think that's everyone. To answer your question, Dagger, I think you're thinking of Banana Man by Tally Hall. Do you want a banana, peel it down, and go which I haven't actually played recently on any stream in quite some time, so I think I'm wondering how that came up there. We're basically going to have a theme of creepy dolls here. I have up to 2 selected in advance, but once we get through this first one, I will be open to requests instead. So if you have an SCP you want reviewed, read, to be discussed, that would be wise. We're also raffling off a game, as provided by one Exodus, Journey to the Savage Planet, which I haven't even seen the trailer for yet, but looks promising. That will be handled by tagging me in chat. Let me know you want part of the raffle. And then we have cosmic background radiation determine the winner. Okay. We're looking this time at SCP-2116 object class, formerly Euclid, now safe, and I think they got it wrong, but we'll go over that shortly. Special containment procedures: SCP-2116 is never to be further than 10 meters from SCP-21161 at any time. The individual designated as SCP-21161 is currently a female, aged 20. SCP-21161 will never willingly part with SCP-2116. When SCP-2116 expires for any reason, a replacement must be found within 12 hours. The age of the individual designated as SCP-21161 is irrelevant. Testing has shown that when a suitable subject is found, the anomalous nature will subside. SCP-21161 must be a female subject, as males seem to be unaffected by the anomalous nature of SCP-2116. Once a suitable candidate has been located, SCP-2116 is to be handed over to the subject by a male researcher. Selection criteria for SCP-21161 is listed below in Addendum 1. Perhaps you would like to take that bit.
Yes. Point 1. Must score mid to low on the overall risk sophistication treatment inventory, also known as RST-1 or I. Point 2. Must score low on the sophistication maturity S cluster. Point 3. Must score low on the cognitive SCOG cluster. Point 4. Must score mid to low on the emotional SEMO cluster. In addition, the subject must meet the following: moderate to low score on treatment amenability. Must score low scores on the responsibility and motivation cluster TRS. Low scores on the consideration and tolerance cluster TCAT.
Description: SCP-2116 is a child's doll manufactured sometime in the mid-19th century. SCP-2116 is dressed in a simple red cotton dress with cloth shoes and garments consistent with the 19th century garb. The head is constructed of standard bisque porcelain and painted to resemble an adult female. SCP-2116 is otherwise unremarkable in appearance other than the accumulation of substantial amount of dirt and grime on the surface. And of course, as we've seen from this picture, just horrific.
Yes.
Would you take the next paragraph?
Yes. If SCP-2116 is further than 10 meters from the current SCP-2116-1 for longer than 5 minutes, its anomalous property will manifest as an alteration to reality within a 1-meter radius centered on SCP-2116 itself. The environment, decor, ambient temperature, and furnishings become altered to be more attractive to a prepubescent human female. Tables will be set in a pink tea set with a teapot filled with a sweet red liquid. Various sweet treats will manifest, and the table cover will become a lace tablecloth of a style popular during the mid-19th century. For every hour that SCP-2116 is not in the possession of SCP-2116-1, the region of altered reality expands by 1 meter. Testing has shown that items removed from this region of altered reality retain their altered properties, and food items created are non-toxic and will decay at the same rate as normal items of the same type.
Background. SCP-2116 was first discovered when Foundation agents embedded in the Nevada State Patrol detected a call to investigate a house with a dead body. Foundation agents responded to the call and discovered the home of Redacted changed entirely. The entire house, which had been a ranch-style dwelling built in the early 1960s, had been changed to a Victorian-style two-story dwelling with a steeply pitched roof, wide front porch, and a turret-style gable on the front corner. All the internal furnishings had been altered and featured sofas, paintings, and other items consistent with mid-19th century homes. In an upstairs bedroom, agents found the body of Redacted, an 80-year-old female. An autopsy revealed nothing unusual. The victim had apparently expired due to a sudden, massive myocardial infarction. Heart attack. Interviews with neighbors revealed the occupant of the house had been an 11-year-old child. Statements indicate that the neighbors did not find anything unusual about a child living alone in the house. Research into possible medic effects from SCP-2116 are still pending. Neighbors state that for as long as they had known the victim, she would never allow SCP-2116 to be out of her grasp. Class B amnestics were administered to neighbors, and city records were altered to show the house had always been a two-story Victorian.
During recovery, agents noted that surroundings were being altered as they were investigating and proceeded with due haste. Agent Redacted became a casualty during the recovery process when she apparently removed SCP-2116 from the grip of the victim. Agents accompanying her state that they heard a scream from the upstairs bedroom and subsequently found an oil portrait of Agent Redacted, dressed in mid-19th century clothing with SCP-2116 on the floor next to it. Male agents were able to handle SCP-2116 with no ill effects. It was after SCP-2116 was placed in containment that researchers noted that the rate of conversion was increasing. A D-class female was brought in as a test to see how the anomalous nature of SCP-2116 would respond. The D-class, now designated as SCP-2116-1, had been committed to life in Redacted State Mental Hospital after psychiatric evaluation determined that she was mentally incompetent to stand trial. SCP-2116-1 has been in a persistent catatonic state since her arrest in Redacted.
Test log 1 follows. The rate of alteration of the surroundings of SCP-2116 increased noticeably following this test to 1.5 meters an hour. Foundation researchers located a second suitable female D-class subject. This subject, now designated SCP-21161, was a 19-year-old female convicted of brutally stabbing a man while working as a prostitute. Subject was handed SCP-2116 by researcher Bellows.
Test log 2 follows. The rate of alteration did not change following this test. It is theorized that there is an upper limit to the rate of change possible. A third D-class female was brought in for testing. This subject, designated SCP-2116-1, is a 20-year-old female who was incarcerated for burning down a church following an attempt at exorcism by her parents and the local priest.
Test log 3 follows. A complete search of the site of initial discovery revealed a photo album containing photos of the deceased subject, designated SCP-21160, holding SCP-2116 as a small child. The photograph is dated 1943. Interviews with neighbors indicated that it was the same child that lived in the house. Older photos in the album show a deceased elderly female, presumed to be a relative of SCP-21160, holding the same doll. It is unknown at what point SCP-2116 assumed its anomalous properties. All pictures of the photo album featuring SCP-21160 show SCP-2116 in its possession. Currently, SCP-21161 has had SCP-2116 in her possession for 65 days. No anomalous changes have been detected during this time. Notably, it has to be in the hands of a D-Class to not do anything. That's not quite the same thing as safe. I think they had Euclid correct the first time round. Euclid is not safe, yes, but Euclid does not necessarily mean dangerous. Safe also doesn't actually mean it isn't dangerous. The only way I've understood it is that safe means you put it on a shelf, you don't touch it, nothing happens. If you pick it up, it could make you teleport, it could cause your intestines to be violently ejected from your nostrils. But so long as you don't do that, just leave it on the shelf, it is safe. Euclid means if you leave it on the shelf, well, it'll get tired of waiting on and do something. That's Euclid. It has its own will, or it's not understood as to what motivates it. In any case, that's Creepy Doll number 1. Do we have any requests? I understand we're up to 10 likes. This is great news. This stream might very well be a success at this rate, although still 3 short. Presently, YouTube is telling me we only have 5 viewers. 10 likes, 5 viewers. Weird. I suppose I got token likes when people just dropped by to say hi and then didn't actually say hi and then left again. Or YouTube's lying to me. Again. As usual. My money's on that one, personally. 11 likes. Very close now. I sense confetti around the corner. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the game we're raffling off today. Once again provided by one Exodus, who's not here, and I shall have to let them know how it went.
Yeah. I just want to mention that the title of the stream is 2116. And 2116 is the Foot Pope. So whenever we're done with these dolls, I would like to suggest that we should totally read that.
But this is SCP-2116. 2116.
Well, it says 2166. That's what I meant.
Oh, I typoed lead. Yeah,
just a bit.
Okay, fine. But we've got this trailer to show off first to see who all wants this game. I might want to compete myself, but I'm not sure.
Kindred Aerospace would like to welcome you to your destination, wherever that may be. In preparation for landing, we've compiled a short checklist to make your trip a meaningful and memorable one. Let your pioneering spirit guide you as you set foot on a previously unexplored world. Remember, though, that we could only afford enough fuel for a one-way trip. So get out there, take those space lemons, and make space lemonade. Assuming you survive your first night, you'll awaken to a world with so much to explore. These are memories to cherish, to hold close to your bosom as the cold touch of old age darkens even the most precious of memories. So scan and log everything you discover. These succulent morsels of data will contribute to Kindred's moderate but respectable expansion across the cosmos. Back on Earth, did you feel sad and isolated from your peers? Was the weight of cultural expectations just too much to bear? Well, not here. This planet's #1 resource is friendship. And by learning a few phrases of local dialect, we're 65 to 70% sure you'll be welcomed with open arms. Or not. For visitors with a taste for the exotic, a world of delight awaits. you'll get the chance to source authentic, indigenous products. Imagine your loved ones back home as they unwrap a dehydrated jelly waft or inhale the sweet spores of the polypod tree. Just remember that cardinal rule. If you didn't scan it, don't eat it. But ultimately, as a steward of humanity, you've been entrusted with this incredible world. So treat your mission with respect. Step out of your comfort zone, and you might find that no matter what corner of the galaxy we call home, we're not so different after all. Kindred Aerospace thanks you for your participation. Enjoy your stay, and good luck. Oh, before I forget, we were a little over on weight at launch, so we didn't pack your camera. Be sure to download it before your adventure so you can share your discoveries and...
That is Journey to the Savage Planet, which looks like a cutesier No Man's Sky that I suspect had been simplified in some regards. Still,
Yeah.
it looks nice. Very nice indeed. Haven is marked down for the raffle. Anyone else who would like to join the raffle, please do. Likewise, tag me in chat. Let me know that you want to compete. Or rather have cosmic radiation determine whether or not you should get the game instead. Otherwise, it'll just go to Haven, which is fine, really. It's very anticlimactic. It's a good button, but there's no drama as to whether or not the button's going to be high or low. No one will really care. Look, just consider. Consider it. You don't have to, but you could consider it. Okay.
I was actually really close to purchase the bundle it was in. But I kind of didn't want to pay like 25 euros for the one game that I didn't have.
Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe this is absolutely providential. But we will find out momentarily. Meanwhile, did we have an SCP request? Anyone? Oh no! Yes, we did. From you. Foot Pope. What SCP did I daftly title this one? 2166. Because numbers.
Yes.
We shall look at 2166 in that case, just so that this stream is accurate. Closer to... Less inaccurate. There we go. Less inaccurate.
Yeah, because we're not starting with it.
So, but it's in the stream now, so it's less inaccurate. Item SP2166, Object Class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Foundation agents are to regularly monitor outdoor activity in elementary schools within a 20-kilometer radius of the location of SCP-2166's initial appearance. Should any children be observed engaging in SCP-2166 activity, field agents are to be dispatched to the corresponding school or schools to administer amnestics to all students involved once the current round of SCP-2166 has concluded.
Should any children engaging in SCP-2166 be joined by an unfamiliar young child who is not present at any available class listings, the agent is to follow said individual to determine their place of residence for further Foundation observation.
Description: SCP-2166 is an anomalous children's playground game, colloquially known as Foot Pope. Several slightly differing iterations of the game are known to exist, namely different iterations involving greater numbers of players taking into account more complex terrain such as climbable play structure equipment, the introduction of a foot devil that can freeze players, and other such modifications. But the following instructions are consistent across all versions. Let's trade off the bullet points. Care to start?
Sure. The game requires 3 or more players and a space that has at least 3 different types of ground terrain. Acceptable terrains includes asphalt, concrete, wood chips, sand, grass, dirt, running track, and so on.
1 player is selected to be the Foot Pope. At the start of the first round, all players assemble in a circle around the current Foot Pope, who will chant a rhyme. Foot Pope, blessing the feet, showing where all steps should meet, and will pat the right foot of each player assembled.
When the foot pope has finished the rhyme and feet blessing, the players disperse at a run and chant a reply. Foot pope, stand ahead. What land must devout feet tread?
The foot pope will then call out a type of terrain, and all players must place both feet on the terrain as quickly as possible. The player or players who fulfill this task the slowest is out for the remaining duration of the round.
The foot pope states the chant again, with the players chanting the response again, and the round continues until all but one other player is out. The remaining player becomes the new foot pope to start the next round.
SCP-2166's anomalous effects are believed to manifest upon completion of the first foot pope chant and call response. All Foundation run trials attempting to replicate manifestation of SCP-2166's anomaly failed when the preliminary chant was not completed at least once. When the chant has been said, all players who are designated out during the round find their feet permanently affixed to the ground they are standing on until the end of the round. Attempts to circumvent the situation by removing articles of clothing worn on feet are unsuccessful. Such clothing will also remain permanently affixed to the individual.
Those affected by SCP-2166's primary effect report feeling only mild discomfort. It has been determined that should an individual affected by SCP-2166 sit down while affixed to the ground, they will find that they are able to adjust their position freely, so long as they retain some contact with the ground they were previously standing on. This effect persists even with removal of the section of the ground the player stood on from the rest of the terrain space. The player simply moves with the section of ground removed.
Investigation to further nuances of SCP-2166's gameplay and modification potential is ongoing. See Addendum 2166-2. I'm going to go ahead and read 2161. Based on a partial interview data collected by Foundation field agents, via red link we're not clicking on right now, it is believed that knowledge of SCP-2166 originated at Geyser View Elementary School of Portland, Oregon. Oh, where the Hellmouth is. That makes sense. Where a primary grade student introduced the game instructions to other children during recess, school documents show no record of such a student in the district system, and no guardian figure was ever seen accompanying the child. Rather, the child simply stated that they were to wait for their friends at the library after class was dismissed. So, Wanderer's Library. I see. Staff of libraries within walking distance of Geyser View Elementary School report that they have never seen the child before.
6-2. As of redacted date, experimental staff monitored trial playthroughs of SCP-2166 have uncovered the following information. I'll take the first one. Based on empirical observation, there are only two ways to end SCP-2166's anomalous effects. The first is for a round of SCP-2166 to end naturally, with a new foot pope either starting another round or declining to say the starting chant. The second, discovered in an experimental Foundation facility, is for current foot pope to declare no land in response to the player's chant, at which point the game has ended and any immobilized players are freed.
It is believed that a game of SCP-2166 can continue indefinitely, with the accompanying anomalous effects enduring until the game is properly ended. Currently, the longest Foundation-held game of SCP-2166 was recorded at approximately 133 minutes.
Attempting to cheat doing SCP-2166, including deviation from the rules, arguing with the foot pope, and leaving the game early, has resulted in participants experiencing an unpleasant burning sensation in their feet until the conclusion of the current round of SCP-2166. In one extreme case, the involved individual's shoes disappeared and reappeared permanently affixed to their ears until the conclusion of the game. That is not permanent. Misspeaking the foot pope chant, whether by accident or intention, results in all the players, including the active foot pope, having their feet affixed to the ground until the chant is said properly. Wow. This is actually kind of more wholesome than I thought it would be.
It's a lot more wholesome. It seems that whatever the very, very unnatural origins of this game, it's not quite the disaster that many of these others have been. I mean, at no point does anyone die, and even when the effects are not necessarily positive, they're merely unpleasant or awkward. Unless, of course, one colossal asshole of a foot pope just never ends the game, thus everyone, I guess, starves to death wherever they're stuck to the ground. But I don't think even the Foundation's done that here, so that's great. Also, I imagine that's just not very reasonable. In any case, greetings, Anthem Ward. Glad you can make it. We are raffling off a game, Journey to the Savage Planet. I'll play the trailer again before I end the stream. Do tag me if you want to join it. Or you can also scroll back in the stream to decide if that's a game you want. In any case, it's a game of footsie with loads of extra stuff. What do you think the game of footsie is? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. We have a request for SCP-3814, but before we do, I tend to rush through things. I think it's time to take a breath, calm down, and ponder the last two SCPs. Is there something we should have pondered about them that might have rushed past?
I don't know, but I kind of want to explain footsie to you, just so you know it.
Don't explain to me, explain to them, and let's take care of that off-stream.
Okay.
It's a little bit too awkward for this one. Meanwhile, I have feet and legs. This has been proved many times before. I'm not going to do this regularly because I don't like being obligated to prove anything at all. But, vicious slander. Vicious slander, fish. Vicious slander. Okay. Well, we'll go on with 3814. That does look familiar. Oh. Yes. Everyone else confuses Arcturus and Arketer, so I suppose it was my turn. Although, hasn't he shown... Well, never mind. Irrelevant. I don't want to think about Arcturus in any shape or form. Anyway, so let's not. Personally, I think the previous doll was some sort of devil's bargain for something to offer eternal youth, or at least the illusion of it. It was a bad bargain that everyone else has to deal with. And 2. 3, 8, 1. What was it? Yes, here we go. SCP-3814 object class was thought to be neutralized. Clearly they were wrong, as it's marked here now as Euclid. Special Content Procedures. As of 6/11/2009, SCP-3814 has been reclassified as neutralized. Former classification, save reclassified Euclid. See Incident Report 38142. Go to the next paragraph.
Yes. SCP-3814 is currently contained at the D-Class cell block of Site 91. The role of SCP-3814-1 is to be passed between D-Class personnel indefinitely. Current SCP-3814-1 is forbidden to participate in any tests until they are no longer SCP-3814-1. Should any higher personnel become SCP-3814-1 by any means, they are required to pass the role to a member of the D-Class personnel as soon as possible.
I suppose we can take a quick look at the original containment. Procedures. SCP-3814 has been confined to Site-91 and must only be passed on to personnel currently working there. In the event that SCP-3814 should be passed beyond the borders of Site-91 due to evacuation of personnel or other eventualities, it is to be brought back into the facility at the earliest opportunity. Staff member currently designated SCP-3814-1 is required to wear an approved item distinguishing them from other on-site personnel. This item will be passed on to the next SCP-3814-1. No subject is allowed to stay 3814-1 for longer than 24 hours at a time. Description. Now you can... I suppose.
Yeah. SCP-3814 is an anomalous game of tag. The currently tagged subject, from here on referred to as SCP-3814-1, experiences a mental compulsion to tag anyone or any nearby individuals. The strength of this effect increases with time. After approximately 24 hours since tagging, most affected subjects begin to claim it is almost impossible to resist this compulsion, and can attempt to tag others even in inconvenient or even dangerous situations. See Incident Report 3814-1.
In addition to this, SCP-3814-1 will not experience any such compulsive tendencies towards the previously tagged person. After SCP-3814 has been passed on to another person, all effects it had on SCP-3814-1 will cease. No other effects have been observed. That has been lined out, apparently, with information.
Once the subject becomes SCP-3814-1, the rules of SCP-3814 are permanently embedded in their memories through anomalous means. Following is a transcript of the rules as written down by one of the subjects.
1. To tag, you have to touch the person and say, "Tag, you're it." 2. You cannot tag the person who tagged you. 3. The tag must be passed on.
All investigative attempts to uncover the origin of SCP-3814 have failed. SCP-3814 was brought into Site-91 in 2005 by Dr. Redacted, who was unaware of its anomalous nature at the time. Later, it was found that SCP-3814 was passed on to Dr. Redacted by a family member who was tagged by the co-worker. While this backtracking of SCP-3814's history was not able to identify an origin of the anomaly, it has proven that it existed as far back as 18 Redacted.
Addendum Incident Report 3814-1 on 06/11/2009 SCP-3814-1. At the time, Dr. Lisa Arlington was killed during an experiment with SCP Redacted. It appears that Dr. Arlington had overestimated her ability to resist the compulsive effect of SCP-3814 and attempted to tag a D-Class personnel during the test, resulting in her death. Whoopsie.
Yeah. The remnants of... Oh, sorry. Do you want to take it?
Go ahead. I'll take the next one then, so there.
Yeah. The remnants of Dr. Arlington's body were taken care of according to standard Foundation procedure in such manners. SCP-3814 reclassified as neutralized.
Addendum Incident Report 3814-2. On 07/11/2009, approximately 24 hours after her death, Dr. Arlington was sighted at Site-91, lying unconscious in a hallway leading to staff dormitories. Dr. Owick called site security to aid him in relocating Dr. Arlington to on-site infirmary. Medical evaluation didn't find any abnormalities in Dr. Arlington's physiology. Following is an interview conducted by Dr. Owick shortly after Dr. Arlington regained consciousness. Interviewed, Dr. Arlington, interviewer, Dr. Owick. Do you have a preferred role, Haven?
I don't mind either.
Oh, okay, well, Arlington's a she, so you get Arlington then.
Okay.
Begin log. What happened to Lisa?
I don't know.
Do you remember anything after the incident with SCP Redacted?
No, I remember waking up here at the medical bay.
Lisa, please, try harder. You must remember something.
I am sorry, Chris. I just don't recall anything.
Okay, fine. All right. I apologize. It must be hard.
What must be hard? Brr, everyone is acting weird around me. What is it? Chris, tell me.
We thought you were dead.
Well, I clearly survived.
No, you didn't.
What?
You died, Lisa. We have no clue why you appeared this morning. I know, I couldn't believe it either, Lisa, but whatever happened is a miracle.
Chris.
I don't know what I would do without you.
Chris!
Yes?
I think I remember something.
Yes, of course. And what is it?
It's just a bunch of words, sentences maybe. I can't make anything of it though.
Words? Can you tell me about any of these words?
It's like some rules in my mind. Gosh, it hurts.
We can stop a few.
The tag must be passed on.
Do you mean the Site-91 tag, SCP-3814?
The tag must be passed on.
Lisa, you already said that.
The tag must be passed on.
Lisa? Lisa? Dr. Orc is about to leave the room.
Wait, Chris. Hold my
Dr.
hand,
Orc turns
please.
Dr. Orc.
Oh.
Dr. Orc makes
Hold my
physical
hand,
contact with
please.
Dr. Langton. I am here for you, Lisa.
Tag. You're it.
What? Dr. Arlington suddenly expires without any visible explanation. Lisa! Lisa, no! Please! No! Expletive redacted, but it was just 30 more minutes of in log. Closing statement, Dr. O'Rourke was removed out of the room, and later questioned. It would appear that SCP-3814 grants temporal reanimation in cases where SCP-3814-1 dies before they can tag someone else. Further research denied. SCP-3814 reclassified to Euclid. Containment procedures updated according to Dr. O'Rourke's suggestions.
Wow.
So it brought her back from the dead just to tag Dr. Erwick, who was in a relationship with Dr. Arlington, and wow. That was a very bad day for these two docs.
Yes. I like the foot poke more.
That's much more wholesome by comparison. Mind you, the only reason this got particularly nasty is because Dr. Arlington was a bit of an idiot.
Yes.
Who held on to the tag for way too long for no good reason, and failed to the compulsion at the single worst time imaginable. So I should say more poor Dr. Herwick there. Eek. And so we're up to 12 likes, which means we're 1 like away from this stream being a success. And there's only about 20 minutes remaining. But this has been a fun one, and it does fit the theme of anomalous games. Get
Yeah.
tagged, get locked up, die, come back, stay locked up, live forever. Until, of course, you daftly tag one person either through painful compulsion or accident, at which point you just die. And it sticks. I have to say, this is a really shitty way to try to seize immortality, and it's almost certainly not going to work.
I wonder if you can tag someone who's dead.
You know, that's something they should be trying. Of course, if that were the case, then when they moved her corpse after the incident that killed her, then whoever touched the corpse would have ostensibly been tagged then. So it seems the corpses cannot, before reanimation, pass the tag along.
No, I'm wondering if
Your
you can
best
tag
selfies
someone
with
who's
us.
already dead. And thus reanimating them.
Pioneering spirit guides you as you set foot on a previously unexplored world. Remember, though, that we can only afford enough fuel for a one-way trip. So get out there, take those space lemons, and make space lemonade. Assuming you survive your first night, you'll awaken to a...
Otherwise, we'll probably ravel that off in the last 5 minutes. I cannot write an addendum to SCPs, Carlos Fish. I don't have that much clout within the Foundation. Or even the Wiki. I mean, we're not getting to this topic. It's dangerous. Well, I have another SCP I can pull up my own, but are there any further requests? I think we have enough time to get in a smaller one. Okay, in that case, I will go with the other creepy doll SCP I had lined up for this. Which should just be long enough.
Yay. That's what she said.
Well, that at least implies adequacy. SCP-1851, Object Class, Euclid. Special containment procedures. Only D-Class level personnel are permitted to enter the building containing SCP-1851. 6 to 10 armed guards be stationed around the perimeter of the building containing SCP-1851. A 2-meter tall chain link fence to surround the 200 square meter property. Unauthorized individuals entering the property are to be ordered to leave. Individuals that are administered Class C amnestics if they are non-compliant and deposited in redacted medical center.
To prevent SCP-1851 from actively obtaining subjects, a rabbit is to be released into the building every 3 days. Discarded instances of SCP-1851-1 are to be stored inside redacted until further notice.
Description: SCP-1851 is a doll that resembles a 1.57 meter tall female Caucasian with brown hair and blue eyes. SCP-1851 resides within a building, Victorian-era styled house that has no noticeable external weathering, but with a more distinctly well-kept interior. Located near redacted. SCP-1851 is observed using a remotely controlled rover. SCP-1851 moves throughout the containment site, occasionally performing maintenance on the interior and exterior of the building and grounds. The maintenance SCP-1851 provides includes tending the garden, repairing the walls of the building, and cleaning the floors. Personnel on site have reported that SCP-1851 notices the presence of individuals, but does not actively attempt to communicate.
SCP...
Looks like blonde to me. Never mind. Go on.
SCP-1851 remains docile until any live member of Mammalia or Aves enter the building, or for approximately 3 days after conversion of SCP-1851-1. If the subject does not meet the requirements of SCP-1851, the exact requirements have yet to be determined. SCP-1851 has shown noted preference to all members of the biological order Avis and the following mammalian families: Canidae, Ursidae, Felidae, and Hominidae. So that is dogs, bears, cats, and humans. The subject will be... Wait, I think so at least. The subject will be killed and discarded upon entering the premises.
Quick pause to note that you're wrong. You received an excellent news in that they're not dying as soon as they might have expected. So, congratulations on your not dying sooner than expected. You're wrong. It was excellent news. Cheers indeed. Okay. Deep dish pizza does sound really good. That's neither here nor there. We don't have time. I don't have time. That's irrelevant. SCP-1851 will then transport the animal, hereby referred to as SCP-1851-1, within the confines of the building, at which point the subject will undergo systematic conversion, changing it into a rudimentary doll. The initial stage of this conversion is the shrinking of the subject, ending when the subject shrinks to 1/10 of its size. The subject's internal mass becomes either a hollow cavity or cotton, based on analysis of discarded SCP-1851-1. The subject's skin is converted to porcelain or plastic if made hollow, or cloth if filled with cotton.
After evaluating SCP-1851-1, SCP-1851 will either store the object in a toy box in the nursery or discard it. Attempts to retrieve instances of SCP-1851-1 that have not been discarded have resulted in the destruction of 2 rovers and 3 drones. Retrieval of discarded instances have yielded no reaction from SCP-1851. After the process is completed, SCP-1851 returns to its typical behavior. If SCP-1851 does not have any interactions with a new instance of SCP-1851-1 for approximately 7 days, it will actively seek organisms for the conversion process.
Addendum 1. The Foundation was first alerted of SCP-1851 by reports of people being forcefully moved out of their homes and disappearing near the town of Redacted. Mobile Task Force 5-3 aka Collectors was sent to the house to determine the cause of the disappearances.
Addendum 1851-2. On the 7th of June, 20 redacted, researchers noticed a sharp increase in stockpiling behavior and doll production from SCP-1851, followed by a complete cessation of activity on the 7th of August, 20 redacted. On the 7th of September, 20 redacted, audio devices placed within the building. Actually, it might have been like the 6th, 7th, and 6th, 8th, and 9th of July. I don't know. Within the building, recorded sounds resembling human singing. Due to the docile state in which SCP-1851 was in, clearance was given for researcher Julia Redacted to enter the building, with accompaniment from security officer Dwight Redacted for purposes of documentation. Upon entering, researcher Julia Redacted was found SCP-1851 moving around the home's kitchen, apparently docile. SCP-1851 was approached and attempts at communication were made. Enclosed are the results of researcher Julia Redacted's attempt.
Date 7/10/20 redacted. Interviewer researcher Julia Redacted. Interviewed SCP-1851. Would you rather have the role of 1851 or researcher Julia?
I think it would be funnier if I'm the researcher.
Very well then.
Can you understand me?
Oh, of course. I've been taught English very well.
Can you tell me what you're doing in this house?
Well, lately I've just been keeping it tidy in anticipation of my family's return. Father loves coming home to a clean house.
I see. What can you tell me about your family?
Oh, they're very nice people. I'm sure they would love to meet you. Mother loves having guests, and their daughter's very polite.
Why have you been singing?
Because a special day is very near, and I'm trying to create a nice atmosphere.
Special day?
Oh yes, the young mistress's birthday is only a few days away. Such a happy occasion.
I see.
I do hope she'll return soon. I have worked very hard on her gifts.
Gifts? You mean the dolls?
Yes! She's very fond of dolls, you see.
Can you tell me how old she'll be?
Well, this is a celebration of her 9th birthday. It's long overdue. I have no intention of celebrating later birthdays until she has celebrated this one. I've been trying to gather ingredients to bake her something, but I'm afraid it has been a while since Mother has gone for groceries.
When was the last time you saw your family?
It has been a very long time. I am afraid I cannot remember exactly.
Is it possible that they won't return?
Of course not! When I was assigned to this family, it was with the express promise that it was a temporary position. My family will return soon enough. Until then, I will continue in my duties.
What exactly do your duties include?
I think you should leave. I'll not have you upsetting the young mistress when she arrives. SCP-1851 ceased interaction this time and turned away from researcher Julia Redacted. Before leaving, researcher Julia Redacted noticed an inscription on SCP-1851's back. Although they've been monitoring it with drones and rovers, so this should not be the first time they would have noticed it. And surveillance within the house was later able to get a clear image of it. Only now, for some reason. 1851 has returned to normal behavior patterns 1 day later. Inscribed on the back of SCP-1851, "To my beloved daughter, I know I can't be there for you, and I'm sorry, I wish I could. I hope this will help." Okay, well, someone's Victorian dad expected to croak, and I'm guessing found some sort of demon into the doll. Because I don't think that's a nice critter in there, whatever its appearance. Mostly it's this casual murder and whatnot. And the fact that it apparently is impossible to disable or kill or otherwise take in a fight. They don't bother explaining why that is, but they stress that it wrecks drones they try to use and doesn't seem to have any trouble capturing and killing animals, bears, people, to make toys.
Oh, I just wanted to explain. The Hominidae is apparently any kind of great ape, so they let other primates in there other than humans. That's sad, man.
So this thing might have pulled a Harambe.
Yes.
Yeah. Typically, I understand the idea of secure, contain, protect, not interfering with it, but there's no reason this thing needs to be catered to as much as it has been. After all, I think we can all pretty accurately deduce that that family's never coming back, and it's probably going to just go that much more berserk whenever it finally gets it through its thick porcelain skull.
Yep.
I don't appreciate the idea that we're just assuming it can't be put away like the deranged toy it is. But pardon?
No worries.
I am pleased to observe it has been adequately classified and correctly as Euclid. It's potentially malevolent. It certainly doesn't care for the people it turns into dolls, but it's not aggressively murdery. And it's certainly up to its own business, however stupid and some sort of ritual bound. I don't like it. I want it shot. But I have a bit of aversion to cutesy things that do terrible things. That's why we locked away 1984. And at least no one's stupid enough to let this one walk around a Foundation facility. Because it's cute. I hate you.
Yes.
Okay, well then. We are just about done here. In the final 5 minutes, it's time to decide who wins. Journey.
World with so much to explore. These are memories
Which You're Wrong has apparently played and has called a sort of Metroidvania where you're on an alien island sorting things out.
to cherish, to hold close to your bosom as the cold touch of old age darkens even the most precious of memories. So scan and log everything you discover. These succulent morsels of data will contribute to Kindred's moderate but respectable expansion across the cosmos.
That feels like
I love
no
how
man's
whimsical.
land. Whimsical. I love the
Yeah.
designs, to be fair. So, no other entries? Okay then. It is done.
You said
Now
you
we
wanted
will
to
roll
roll
to
for it.
determine the recipient. Haven, your number is 36. And it's the only number, so you won. Congratulations.
Yay! Wait, we can do this better.
Might as well. You have a soundboard. It's not like it detracts from us. Otherwise, I have to say this stream has not been a success. We did not get to 13 likes. This has been a failure. But I don't blame you all, of course, as always. Hold my self-responsibility. I didn't promote enough. I didn't reach out to the correct audience base. I didn't drum up the enthusiasm and interest. It's my failing, not yours. We are in the final 3 minutes. Any creators in chat, if you have your own channels you would like to promote, if you have a video you made you want to promote, you probably have a wrench, because I tend to give them out quite casually. And actually, I'll give you one too. You're wrong. Don't use it for anything, I guess. No one really does. It's just, in case bots show up, then anyone can smash them and are encouraged to do so. It's like a fun little race to kick them as soon as they show up. Although, I have to
I've
know, we
only
haven't
succeeded in
really
being the
had...
first ones.
Yeah, we haven't really had a proper Russian bot in a long time now. Or any real spam.
Yeah, not since we used to play fast like every so often.
Mhm.
Like before the big update.
Well, maybe they've all been purged once and for all. Maybe. Or maybe they just weren't making any money. And therefore discontinued. I like to imagine it's the latter. Any case, we have 2 minutes remaining. Congratulations, Haven, on your acquisition. Congratulations, You're Wrong on not dying horribly. And does the upgrade come with Arketer? No. The wrench comes with a wrench icon, some blue text, and the ability to purge ad bots that may or may not try to infiltrate chat at some point in the future again. That's about it.
Congratulations on being a minion.
The schedule for the remaining week is as follows. The SRS will progress tomorrow as scheduled. Saturday should progress also as scheduled, but I have to say it is looking like it's going to be a rather exhausting day, so I might have to scrap that one more time after all, which I really hope to avoid, but I might need to. And most especially, Sunday, I will be participating in a stream run not by me, but by Horror and Hellfire, who will be joining us in a bit of phasmophobia.
Yay!
They'll be streaming it, so I'll be seeing it through their eyes as we all faff about and make a lot of noise and probably say unsavory things about imaginary dead people. Okay, well, that about wraps it up. We have less than a minute remaining, and I have absolutely no idea what to fill it with.
I can showcase some soundboard things.
No, we're done. Okay, until... Bye-bye. So long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly.
Take care and have fun, people. Why do you hate my soundboard?